Hello, welcome to this new section. This new section is called phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are verbs that are composed of more than one word. That's why we call them phrasal, because they involve a phrase. We have a word, which is one single unit, and a phrase is a collection of words that have some meaning, that have certain meaning. They don't express completely an idea. An idea is usually composed of a subject and a conjugated verb at least, but they convey some meaning, and that is what these verbs are. They are phrases that are composed of two elements. So let me give you a brief explanation of what they are, and then we're going to have some practice. All right? So phrasal verbs are usually composed of a base form, like in the examples that I have here for you. He turned down the job offer. We have the word turn, which is a verb, and we have another element, which is usually an adverb or a preposition, mostly a preposition, and the combination of those two elements creates a new word. We have the word turn, for example, but we have different meanings that we can add to that action of turning by adding some new elements. And in this case, we're using the word down to modify the meaning of turn in some way. So if I say he turned, I'm thinking about, okay, turning, probably turning, moving around, going around a corner, that is turning. But if I say turn down, it has a different meaning. And that meaning is a new verb that is created based on the combination of those two elements. So this example that I'm showing you is one example of some type of phrasal verbs, which is separable phrasal verbs, because phrasal verbs can be separable and inseparable. This example here, for example, this example, for instance, can be used to illustrate separable phrasal verbs because we can separate the two units, turn and down, by including the object in between them. For example, we can change this safely from he turned down the job offer, which means he rejected the job offer. We can also express it as he turned the job offer down, which means we are separating the verb and the preposition down with the object that they refer to. Okay, so in this case, we can safely say he turned the job offer down. This is the first type of phrasal verbs. These are the separable phrasal verbs. I'm going to show you many examples in this section that you can practice with so that you can reinforce this concept. The other type of phrasal verbs are, as I mentioned, inseparable phrasal verbs. And here's an example. It says, let's touch on a new subject for a moment. Touch on, you know the word touch, right? Touch is like using the sense of touch for making contact with something. So let's touch a new subject. Does that mean touch? Let's touch a new subject? No, it's touch on means let's refer to a new subject. That touch on includes the idea of mentioning something. So let's talk about this new subject. So as you can see, if you try to separate these two elements, like we're talking about a new subject, it would make no sense to say let's touch a new subject on for a moment. It doesn't make sense because this phrasal verb is inseparable. I wish I had a formula for you to know which ones are separable, which ones are inseparable from the start, like all the time knowing for sure. But these are words that you have to learn on a one-by-one basis. It means that you will have the opportunity to explore each verb as you learn it, and when you learn it, you will have to make sure that it is valid, let's say, to use this option of separating the verb or not. And you know what? Something that you can do is, probably you have done this in class, is finding a list of separable and inseparable phrasal verbs and seeing how you can enrich your vocabulary with this, with those words that you find. But we're going to have some practice activities here, mainly to make you aware that this is a resource that we have in English. And why would we use something like this? Phrasal verbs have the characteristic of making your speech sound a little more informal. For example, if I say, let's mention a new topic, that is a word that is similar to other languages, like other Romance languages, mention. Mention is a word that is very formal. If I say, let's mention a new topic, that I sound very formal. But if I say, let's touch on a new subject, touch on is more informal. So why would you like to learn more vocabulary involving phrasal verbs? Because you will sound more natural. And that's why we should make the effort to learn new phrasal verbs all the time. Make it a habit, trying to introduce phrasal verbs into your vocabulary as often as possible. All right, I think that's enough for an introduction. Let's have some quick practice so we can apply what I have shown you. For this is just, I'm giving you some vocabulary, and look at the instruction, and for you to apply this concept. It says, match the phrasal verb with which could be used instead of the highlighted verb in each sentence. So in one column you have a sentence, and on the other you have some phrasal verbs that could correspond to the word that is highlighted in the sentence. So I'm going to give you a moment for you to look at the examples and see which of those highlighted words could be replaced with the ones that I'm offering you. You may have to look them up. That means that you may have to use the dictionary to find the meaning of those verbs before those phrasal verbs before you use them. But that is the key actually to learning new vocabulary. Placing the right emphasis on each word so that you can give it the attention that you need to learn it. So look up the words if you need to, and then complete the exercise. Pause the video and we'll see the answers in a moment. All right, I hope that you did it. So let's see what you have as your options. So I hope you have your answers ready. The first sentence says, save money every week, save money every week, and you will soon be able to buy the laptop that you want. You save money. What is a word that can help you replace, or what is a phrasal verb that will help you replace that verb save? What is it? What did you find out? Find out is a phrasal verb. You can say discover, or you can say find out. Good point there. We can say put aside money every week instead of saving money. I'm saving some money, or you can say I'm putting aside some money. That is one way of enriching your vocabulary. Listen to her pronunciation, please, of this girl.
Put aside money every week and you will soon be able to buy the laptop that you want.
Thank you. Remember that you can always practice your pronunciation. Next. I am eagerly expecting to get the tablet that my parents ordered for me. Eagerly expecting. If you expect something eagerly, you can look forward to. So you can say, I am eagerly looking forward to, and you know what? Something about this verb is that about this phrasal verb to, look forward to, is that after the preposition to, the verb that follows it must end in ing because it is usually followed by a noun. So in this case, we would say, not eagerly, actually the term eagerly is involved in looking forward to. I am looking forward to getting the tablet that my parents ordered for me. All right? Listen to her pronunciation, please.
I am looking forward to getting the tablet that my parents ordered for me.
All right, good. Next. My father wore his coat because it was very cold outside. Wear. What is a synonym for wear? You know this because we have used that many, many times. My father put on. Put on is wear. So I wore my shirt today. I put on my shirt. All right? Good. Listen to her pronunciation.
My father put on his coat because it was very cold outside.
Good. Thank you. Next. Oh, there's a word that we know. We know admire. Luis admires his older brother for his intelligence and strength. I like that sentence. Admires could be replaced with look up to. What? It has 3 words. Actually, there are phrasal verbs that are 3-word verbs. We call them 2-word verbs or 3-word verbs. So we could say Luis looks up, because we need to use the right form there. Luis looks up to his older brother for his intelligence and strength. Listen to the pronunciation, please.
Louis looks up to his older brother for his intelligence and strength.
Thank you. Finally, the IT specialist said he would investigate the server error. Investigate, that is a very formal term that we can replace with the one that we have there, look into. Yes, the IT specialist said he would look into the server error. All right? That's very good. Listen to her pronunciation.
The IT specialist said he would look into the server error.
That's very good. Thank you very much for listening to the introduction and especially for completing this activity. We are going to have more activities to continue to practice with phrasal verbs. So I'll wait for you on the next video.